Hey Eric, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Welcome YouTube, welcome Facebook. How's everybody doing in this lockdown environment? At the Hope everybody's doing good. Hope you can hear me. Hey Eric, acknowledge me if you can hear me. Just type in yes on Facebook. Wonder why. Forgive me. All you joining me. I'm trying to yes, you can hear me? Okay. Thank you, honey. All right. All right, Eric, looks like you're on YouTube as well. So I see you. Okay, you can hear me on YouTube, and my wife can hear me on Facebook. Don't know if that's a good thing. We're locked down together. She's in the other room. She's still working. She works from home, so we both work from home, so we're used to being locked down together. Hopefully, everybody's doing okay. Everybody's feeling good. I don't know anybody currently that is ill. If you guys do, type it in. Let me know. I know that they just announced today that they're closing the beaches as of midnight tonight. So there's no beaches are going to be public beaches open in Florida as of midnight tonight, and restaurants have to either do delivery or pickup, takeout only. There's no indoor seating for restaurants. So looks like we're getting a little bit more into lockdown mode. I don't think we've been told that we can't leave the house yet, but I'm sure it's going to be coming down where it's going to be limited. But thanks for you guys coming out and listening. Just thought I'd go live, see what everybody's doing. Haven't gone live in a little bit, and tell you the truth, there's not much else to do since they're closing down everything. So um, I got some good videos and podcasts coming out. But I'm probably going to take tomorrow and shoot a couple videos tomorrow and Sunday. Shoot a couple more videos. Get some more in the hopper since we got time. Nothing else to do but shoot videos. I got some good podcasts coming up scheduled. I think this week I have on Sunday Mr. Tom Horseman from YouTube. And I've started something new. I also started doing some video podcasts, and Tom Horseman's my first one that I did an actual video with the podcast for the whole episode. And I'm going to load that on YouTube about an hour after I load it on the on my podcast server. So if you're interested in watching the podcast with full video, I will have that on YouTube. The same day that it goes live on the podcast. So I also did one with CJ Volkman and Kent from the Hot Seat YouTube show. If you're a YouTube Cooks person, you know who they are. Daddy Dutch and Cooking with CJ. They're going to be on the following Sunday as well. And I did a audio and video podcast as well. So going to try out some video podcasts, see if they're popular, see if people pay attention to those as well on YouTube. I might, if I get some traction on YouTube with them, I might load them up on Facebook, on my Facebook page down the road as well. So let me know how you like those. If you like, the only thing I don't like about the video ones is not everybody has access to a video camera to be able to do it. So I'm going to sprinkle some in. Not every podcast episode will have a video on it, but the ones, especially the ones with these YouTube friends of mine, the YouTube channels that I'm interviewing, I'm going to try to get as many of those on YouTube as possible. So, so that you guys who follow them on YouTube can check out the podcast as well, the video podcast. But all the podcasts are still available everywhere else you get podcasts, on Apple Podcasts and Google and uh, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all those. So if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, I highly recommend it. I've had some great guests on. Like I said, Tom Horseman coming up this Sunday. I've had Meathead Goldwyn. He was just on last week. Jess Pryles. I've had Stephen Reichlin. Some pretty big names. Malcolm and Rochelle Reed were on the podcast. A lot of sous vide, famous sous vide chefs have been on there. I've got more coming down the pike. I'm working on a few more barbecue guys and sous vide chefs as well. So stay tuned to the podcast. It's growing really fast. I really enjoy doing the podcast as much, if not more, than doing the YouTube videos and the Facebook group. But other than that, what's going on? Anybody got any questions? Anybody know of... does anybody that's in any of the chats right now have anybody that they know of that's been diagnosed with this virus that's out there plaguing us right now, plaguing the nation? If so, put something in the comments. I'd like to know. I haven't, I hear reports in the news, but I don't know anybody, and I don't know anybody who knows anybody that's been diagnosed with this yet. So they did just report a case today in Lakeland, which is the closest, city to where I am right now, about 4 or 5 miles away. They did report an elderly person, I think it was like 85, that actually came to the emergency room, and they diagnosed them, and they've quarantined now any of the people that came in contact with that person that worked for the hospital. So I know that it's out there. I just personally don't know anybody or know anybody that knows anybody that actually has it. So it's getting kind of crazy. Stock market's been going nuts. The toilet paper runs are getting crazy. We've got plenty of supplies, I think, for at least a month and a half to 2 months. We've got a freezer and all that, so we've usually stock up anyway. We shop at Costco and get paper towels and toilet paper there, and plus meat. I've got a freezer full of meat and all kinds of other supplies, plenty of charcoal for the grills, and in case the power goes out, I can cook on propane and charcoal. So I think we're about ready as we're ever going to be. We got some, I don't know what the big deal is on, people buying water and toilet paper, but I don't think we're going to run out of toilet paper. The only reason we're running out of it now is because people are buying whatever they can grab. I just don't understand. I thought it would be other stuff that they'd be grabbing, except for, the toilet paper seems to be what everybody's keying on. I can live without toilet paper, so... Like I said before, my wife's got plenty of decorative towels that we can wash that we don't use for any other thing. She's probably gonna not like that, but she said she was listening. Anybody else in the chat? Come on, give me some chats on the Facebook. There's 8 people in Facebook right now watching, so say hello. Has anybody got a question about sous vide or barbecue or what's coming up on the podcast or the videos? Anybody just want to talk about what they're doing? Daddy Dutch, what's going on with you? You had a live video the other day, so we saw you making some burgers on your Blackstone. I made some nice, you in my Facebook group or page, I made some nice chicken coconut curry tonight that First time I ever made it. Actually turned out really good. Even my wife liked it. So, and she doesn't usually like new things. So she even liked it. I used the Fresh Jack's yellow Thai coconut curry seasoning, and it turned out fantastic. With the can of coconut milk, uh, grilled up some chicken in a pan, sous vide it first, added some onions and bell peppers and red peppers. Turned out great. Yeah, I can hose off. I got a pond in my backyard now, Daddy Dutch. So I got a pond we can actually use. And got a hose outside, and we got trees, got leaves. So anybody else being affected by this all these companies closing down and shutting down? Anybody been furloughed or laid off or anything like that? Yeah, it was really good. I mean, it was not spicy at all, Eric. It was kind of mild, but with the coconut and all the different spices and flavorings, it worked real well. If you guys if you like Thai food, check out the Fresh Jacks. They got three different ones. They've got yellow, red, and green Thai coconut curry. They're on Amazon. If you're on my Facebook group, I think I put a link in my picture to the yellow one that I used on Amazon. But check them out. I mean, all their stuff is great. I actually just recorded a podcast episode with the marketing director for Fresh Jacks that's going to air in about 3 weeks. They got a fascinating story. It's a husband and wife team that started, selling, homemade seasoning blends at the local farmers market. And the reason they did that is because the husband found out that his doctor told him he needed to totally change his diet or he was going to, be dead in a couple of years. So, he went and started looking at all the seasonings they had and found out that they had a lot of different, anti-kicking agents and all kinds of different additives to the seasonings and spices that he used. So he decided to try to develop some of his own, and they started doing it in a farmer's market up in Jacksonville, and it took off really fast, and that was in 2011. And now they're shipping all over the world. They sell a ton on Amazon through their own website, through some local stores up in Jacksonville. But all the stuff that I've had of theirs, they've got like 35 blends, and then they have all the other, basic stuff, your Italian seasoning, your um, garlic, granulated garlic and onion, and all kinds of, your basic spices and seasonings. But all of them are organic. All of them are absolutely fresh. All of them are amazing. All right. So, Penn Scott, you have a question. Ask your question, and I will try to answer it. I'll wait for it on the chat. There's a delay. So, you first day off of work, Eric. So, did they close the dealership? I know you work for an Indian motorcycle dealership. So, I was wondering, did they close the dealership down? I guess you guys are on lockdown for the whole state in California. You're out in around LA. So, is LA locked down now? You can't go to work? Wondering. Yeah, there's a lot of trucks. That's a lot of the traffic out there, Daddy Dutch is there's when I went to take a Redbox movie back today, and about all the traffic out there was trucks. So, I mean, trucking is going to keep on rolling. I don't think the supply lines are going to, as far as the trucking goes, are going to stop. So, uh, matter of fact, yesterday I was on the way back from picking up some stuff at Walmart, and I was driving by the Dollar General, and I saw, a truck unloading, right there at the one around the corner from where I live. So I stopped, and they were unloading toilet paper and stuff. So I asked my wife, "Do we need some?" And she said, "Yeah, well, my son's girlfriend needed some." So I stopped and grabbed some, and they were just unloading it off the truck. But there was people getting it just as fast as they were unloading it. People were getting it. So it's strange days, that's for sure. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people got better things to do than watch me. I just thought I'd pop on here live. I'm going to try to do these, on Fridays whenever I can, and kind of tell you what's going on. The next video that's coming up tomorrow is, I believe, tomorrow is, I want to say it's the olive wagyu, but it might not be. Actually, it's pulled chuck roast. So pulled beef chuck roast is what's coming tomorrow. But then the week after that, it's going to be Tom Horseman. Or actually, he's going to be on Sunday, and then the week after that, next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, is going to be the olive wagyu. So yeah, tomorrow is going to be pulled chuck roast on the Camp Chef Woodwind Wi-Fi. So you guys haven't checked out the Woodwind Wi-Fi, that's an awesome cooker. I know that a few other YouTube guys have gotten them, but I really like it. I haven't had any issues with it connecting. I know I've talked to some people on the Facebook groups that have. So, but I guess Androids have a big problem with it. So they're getting that corrected. But I've had on my iPhone, I had a little bit of an issue when it was updating the firmware, but ever since then, it's been fine. I've been able to monitor, change the temperatures, the smoke, functions, and all that stuff with my phone with no problem. So they're debating if you're allowed to stay open because of, yeah. And that's what a lot of the dealerships here, the car dealerships, are still open. I know that some of them are, it all depends on, the size of the dealership, but most of the ones here are still open. So I haven't had any of my stores tell me that they were closing yet. But yeah, it's getting kind of crazy. Smoke fire? No, I'm not a smoke fire fan. I've watched all those videos, and I'm not spending $1,000 on something that's had issues right out of the box. So it just I know some of the people have had them and had issues, and I kind of trust their opinions. And there's some people that haven't had issues, but for I think the hoopla that was set out for that Weber smoke fire pellet grill was kind of set way high. The bar was set high for them, and yeah, Tim, that was the Kiss Cruise shirt. Boop. Kiss Cruise shirt I got on the Kiss Cruise in October, so it was a great time. I don't know if they're even going to have a Kiss Cruise this year because they don't know if their cruises are going to be running by then. It's in October around the week of Halloween. So, but yeah, it's that smoke fire Weber is it was overhyped. I think Weber did a lot of the hyping themselves, and when they released it, I mean, the software wasn't even ready at all. I mean, from what I understand, you couldn't even adjust the temp or anything with it. So I don't even know why they released it so early. Even the guy that runs the Barbecue Central podcast, kind of put Kevin, the guy from Weber, on the spot, and I think there was a lot of issues with the Weber. I can't really trash it too much because I didn't have the experience with it, but as much as that thing was hyped and all the issues that came out right out of the box from people that actually are Weber fans and really wanted that thing to be all it was supposed to be, they were really disappointed, and took a lot of flack for it too. So I know Justin from Baby Back Maniac took a lot of flack for his review on there, but yeah, there's definitely some issues with that. They came out and corrected some of them. They put the little slide attachment for the pellet slide because they knew that it wasn't sliding down. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that they're going to try to correct in future releases that they know came out of some of these videos, and I think they got a black eye right out of the box. I haven't seen any company get such a black eye on a new pellet grill release right out of the box as much as Weber did. But I think a big part of that is because the hype was there. Weber's, one of the most popular grill brands around. They were anticipating, this release, and that's one of the reasons why I think they let it out before it was completed. So, but where's all my Facebook people going? You're all leaving. Ask some questions. Type in some stuff. Somebody said they had a question in the chat on YouTube, but I haven't seen a question pop up yet. Stephen and Jacqueline had cooked coconut curry fish today. Great. Yeah, I mean, I haven't had. I mean, I've had coconut curry years ago. I just haven't had it in a long time. I haven't been to a Thai restaurant. Last time I went was maybe a couple years ago with my son, and we had pad Thai. So I didn't really. I mean, we don't get it that often, but I'll definitely be making this again. Like I said, Fresh Jacks makes 3 different kinds of the coconut curry: the red, the green, and the yellow. We did the yellow tonight. We'll try the green and the red sometime down the road. They're all mild, so they just have different flavor profiles. So we'll see. None of them are hot. So I know my wife was kind of worried about that, but even the red one's not hot. But it's really, really great flavor profile. I'm going to have it again. Yeah, Stephanie, it's some pretty scary stuff. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen, anything quite like this before. I mean, we've gone through hurricanes and natural disasters down here in Florida, and I don't think it's been quite this bad as what's going on. This is a national thing. The stock market, has dive bombed in the last 3 weeks. It's just unbelievable the amount of money that's been lost in the stock market just because of this virus. And like I said, I don't know anybody personally that has been diagnosed, and I don't know anybody that knows anybody that's been diagnosed personally. So, not saying there's not people out there. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist or anything, but it's just I don't know. I keep hearing hey, there's 1 or 2 here, 1 or 2 there been reported. We got one in Lakeland today, but it seems to be kind of, I guess, overly cautious is what I think's going on. They're being, extremely overcautious because they don't want it to get out of control. They don't want it to, people to start dropping dead on the streets. So I think they're being overly cautious, but I don't know if it's too bad or what. Now I know the markets will bounce back. I mean, I have no worries about that. I'm not retiring next week, so I'm not too worried about my 401k or my IRA right now. But it's still going to leave some scars. I mean, there's definitely people that people are going to change the way they do business right now. I mean, there's people right now, especially right now in Florida, all the bars and restaurants are closed. It's spring break. All the Disney and hotels and all these people that work for all these the travel industry here in Florida, especially. So it's spring break. This is when a lot of these guys make a lot of their money. The hotels make all their the money, and the bars and all this stuff and events going on, and it's all canceled. It's a lot of money that just got flushed down the toilet. Speaking of toilet paper, Stephanie's talking about it in the chat. So yeah, it's really crazy, and that's the kind of thing. The markets will bounce back, I'm hoping, but all this other stuff, there's going to be things that's going to accelerate some stuff to where you're gonna see some companies changing the way they do business altogether, going forward. So it's a pretty big event. I just, and I wouldn't have thought this, a month ago that it would got this this out of hand. But it's just every day you turn around, something else is getting a little bit more and a little bit more. They're shutting down this, they're shutting down that. It's just it's kind of scary. So I'm hoping that it all gets under control here by the end of April. I hope, so we can go into the summertime. Everything starts to get back down to normal. Yeah, they closed Las Vegas. It's crazy. I mean, just think about how much money they're losing. Just like I said, the whole state of Florida. I mean, they're closing down the beaches. I mean, the beaches are going to be closed. So, I mean, the bars and the beaches. Spring break is probably one of the most tourist driving forces to Florida. For Daytona, Clearwater, Jacksonville beaches, all over the place. Not Fort Lauderdale as much anymore, but it's crazy how how all this stuff and now is being affected by all this. So, but all we can do is hunker down and cook food for our family and try to keep up with the news, wash our hands, keep safe, make sure you limit your going out time and interacting with lots and lots of people. But and that's pretty much all we can do. Hopefully it all blows over here in a month or so and we're all back to normal, and next year we're laughing about it. But it seems to me like there's a lot of things that are going to change because of all of this, and it'll be interesting to see going forward what all happens. But all right, so I've been on for about 30 minutes now, and we're fluctuating. Anybody have any questions? Anybody got any sous vide or barbecue questions? Or tell me what you're doing, what you're cooking, what you got. Have you tried lately that you like, what you don't like? What else is going on? Barbecue and beer, yeah. I mean, I loaded up on some necessities, but everybody make sure you're stocked up. And now's a good time if you're a YouTuber to shoot videos and take your time doing some different cooks. Especially if you're one of those that has to be confined to your house now, if you're working from home. So it might give you some extra time to do some videos and cook some different stuff for your family. But what else is going on? Anybody got questions? Answers? Anybody got suggestions on what you want to see me cook next? Do sous vide. Chuck roast tomorrow, good. I got some chuck roast in the freezer. I just picked up some at Costco the other day when I was there. They had that on sale. I love cooking chuck roast. I love doing it several different ways. So I like making it medium rare in the sous vide and then searing it. I love, making pulled beef with it, which is the video tomorrow will be, pulled beef, chuck roast, cooked 100% on the Camp Chef Woodwind Wi-Fi. Did not even sous vide at that time. Yeah. What kind of ingredients are you having problems getting, Eric? Because I load up when I go shopping. I buy a bunch of stuff. I've got probably like maybe 4 or 5, pork tenderloins in my freezer. I've got a whole brisket, like a 18-pound Packer brisket in there. I've got London broil or top round. I've got chuck roast in there. I've got ribs. I've got a whole bunch of chicken, shrimp. I got just about everything you can think of in my freezers. So I got plenty of ingredients. I got plenty of spices and different stuff. And my deck is about 90% done now. So I'm going to start doing some more videos on my deck. And I'm going to have a nice setup out there. He's got to come back and do some finishing stuff on Monday. But I've already got my deck kind of set up the way I want it. So I'm going to start shooting some great videos out there. So I've got the new PK360 set up, ready to go. I haven't used it yet. I've got, the Kamado Joe Classic 2. I've got the griddle, the Camp Chef flat top grill out there. I've got the Camp Chef with the sear box or the Sidekick. So I got plenty of stuff to cook on now. I got a nice table that I'm going to use to do my prep work on, to film when I'm out there. So I'm really looking forward to doing some videos out there. I really like that space. I'm really glad that it's almost done. And I've been wanting that since we got into this house in December. It was a reason I bought this house, so I could get that deck built. So it's I'm really looking forward to doing some videos out there. It's a great space, plenty of space for all my cooking stuff, and then some space for seating and everything else on the other side. So, so you're having problems getting beef, chicken, and pork. Yeah, I mean, actually, I went to a couple stores yesterday, and I went to Publix because they had, just our regular weekly shopping. They had a lot of the stuff that I was looking for. I mean, there was some things that they were completely out of, but I was able to pick up. They had top sirloin steaks for $4.99 a pound, so I grabbed a couple of those. They had limited other stuff, but it was hit or miss. I was at Walmart the other day. They were out of milk except for a couple, half gallons. And then I went into Publix yesterday and they had plenty of milk. So I mean, it's hit or miss on what they have when they stock up. What time of day it is. How many people are there waiting to grab stuff off the truck. So it's kind of crazy. Sorry, I got a phone call. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's all kind of hit or miss. If you go in, late in the afternoon, I'm sure they're going to be out of a lot of stuff. If you go in early in the morning when the trucks are, unloading, you can probably find a lot more stuff. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of people definitely hoarding stuff. Like some other people have said, it's the toilet paper where they're carrying out half the store of toilet paper, but um, I've got plenty of stuff. I normally have a lot of stuff in my freezer as well. So, I don't usually run too low on meats and stuff because I don't have a problem with freezing stuff. So, and I definitely put the, vacuum sealers to use where I'll buy in bulk at Costco, buy the subprimals and cut them into steaks myself and not have a, problem doing that and then vacuum sealing them up myself. So, but too many scared people hoarding all the food is right. I mean, it's not just food, but it's kind of weird stuff. It's like all the bottled water. I don't understand why are they hoarding all this bottled water? Are they expecting the power to go out and they can't get any water? I just don't understand. It's not like a storm's coming through, like a hurricane where the power is going to be out. I don't expect the power to go out over a virus unless everybody, drops dead that's supposed to be running the power plants. So I don't know, but it's that mentality when people are just load up my house with everything I need, and I'll make sure if the zombies come, I got plenty. So put the wall up. So all right, guys, I don't want to sit here and ramble all night, but if anybody's got questions, let me know. If not, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Hope everybody is safe. Make sure your family's safe. That's the biggest thing. Take care of yourselves. Make sure you wash your hands. Do whatever do what they're telling you to do. Don't overexpose yourself if you don't have to. You don't need to be crazy about it. Don't hoard all the toilet paper. But just take care of yourselves. I hope we get through this thing just within a month or so. We look back at it and we kind of laugh. But check out the video tomorrow's pulled chuck roast, and then on the podcast on Sunday. Make sure you listen to Tom Horseman from Tom Horseman YouTube. He'll take a look-see at that, and make sure you subscribe to the podcast. And I will also have that podcast on YouTube under the playlist of for the podcast. So check it out. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you again on the next live stream and also on the next Fire and Water Cooking video, podcast, or on Facebook, wherever you find me. But thanks again. Take care of yourselves. Check it out. See you later.